Both United Nations and Kashmir are interconnected. Jammu and Kashmir is one of the longest unresolved agenda item at the United Nations. In the future, do you see any more threat that India may launch another attack on Azad Jammu and Kashmir?
To be honest, and if I don't think so. The things which the Indian leaders, the political leaders, and military leaders are currently speaking out. At the same time, when we listen to the Indian security experts, we could see that they are time and again warning government of India against these things, what they are saying, and they are warning them that Azad Kashmir will prove a graveyard for the Indian army if Indian army ever try to do it.
Latest statement by US President Trump that he has warned India not to attack Pakistan again.
It's a very warning signal for the Indians that already they on the trade and other things, President Trump has taken strict steps for them.
Planning and creating false flag operation along with the line of control. Do you think they can create any false flag operation and will accuse Pakistan again?
Yeah, that's the point. That we will take on Pakistan, we will take on Azad Jammu and Kashmir. That I do not agree. But as far as false flag operation is concerned, we have seen
they can do
in the past 35 years how India got the international support on certain fronts was because of that. They created those false flag operations, but this time they failed to convince the international world because the world has changed. Now everything is seen by everywhere through satellite that what is happening.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to Program Insight in V News English. Dear viewers, 24th October is globally and very important day. Globally, that it is the foundation day of the United Nations, that on 24th of October 1945, United Nations was founded. And with context to Pakistan, it is the day 24th of October when Azad Jammu and Kashmir was created. And more than half of the portion is with the Indian illegal occupation. And but there is also a state known as Azad Jammu and Kashmir that was also founded on 24th of October. Both United Nations and Kashmir are interconnected. Jammu and Kashmir is one of the longest unresolved agenda item at the United Nations, both UN General Assembly and United Nations Security Council. There are United Nations Security Council's resolutions which need to be implemented. The people of Kashmir are struggling. They are waging a peaceful movement, peaceful struggle for their emancipation from Indian subjugation. And there have been many important phases of the struggle by the people of Jammu and Kashmir over the last 77 years. But significantly, other than the illegal occupied Jammu and Kashmir, today we will also talk about Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Once it was created, it was considered as a base camp for the freedom struggle for the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And in today's conversation, we will discuss whether this Azad Jammu and Kashmir has really served as a platform for freedom struggle for their brothers and sisters who are waging a peaceful struggle in Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. What is the status? Azad Jammu and Kashmir state has come up to the expectations. Recently, we have seen also turmoils. We will also discuss that. And since 24th October is United Nations Day as well, we will also discuss, is this multilateral global forum known as United Nations is still effective? Or people have lost their faith on UN system. Today, UN has turned 80, which is why it is called United Nations General Assembly, which took place in September, UNGA 8th year. To discuss this all, we are fortunate to have with us Mr. Altaf Hussain Wani, a very renowned Kashmiri leader, chairman of Kashmir Institute of International Relations and In addition to this, he is a very prominent senior Kashmiri activist, scholar, and analyst. Very warm welcome to Program Insight in V News English, Altaf Wani sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it's a pleasure to have you in our program. I would just like to begin the UN portion. Later we will discuss. 24th October is the foundation day for Azad Jammu and Kashmir. And over the last couple of years, particularly from 5th August 2019, we have seen the flag of Azad Jammu and Kashmir got immense global popularity. Wherever there have been rallies, seminars, conferences, outside UN headquarters in New York, in Geneva, everywhere, this Kashmiri flag, particularly representing and reflecting Azad Jammu and Kashmir, got popularity. How you see the 77 years of Azad Jammu and Kashmir? And do you think it really served as a base camp for the freedom struggle?
Thank you very much, Mateen. Actually, the Azad Jammu and Kashmir, which the government which was created on 24th of October 1947, it was basically a war council, or you may call it an interim government at that time. This was created in order to consolidate the gains of those who had fought the Dogra forces and also the Indian forces who likely invaded Kashmir later on. So this government was formed, and its main at that time preamble was that main aims and objective was to liberate the other parts of Kashmir which later on came under Indian occupation. Having gone through the last 77 years, when we see has Azad Kashmir served as a base camp or not, we would not discuss it in isolation, that Azad Kashmir government did it better or not, because the international scenario around it, when the forces of Azad Jammu and Kashmir, the local tribes, when they were marching towards to liberate Srinagar and other parts of the India, when saw the defeat at its hand, they rushed to the United Nations Security Council. And soon after that, when there was a Security Council meeting, and of that a resolution, and the resolution called, firstly, there was a ceasefire was called, and then it was called that India went to the United Nations with a plea that Maharaj, it went to the United Nations Security Council, and United Nations Security Council then did not accept the Indian plea of that Maharaja of Kashmir has ceded to India. Instead, the question was referred to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. A resolution was passed that there will be a free and impartial plebiscite that will decide the future of Jammu and Kashmir. So, and later on, we could see a ceasefire was held under the UN auspices, and then many conditions about the withdrawal of forces and the UN peacekeeping forces coming to the region. And also, then we could see that there was one India-Pakistan Commission, United Nations Commission of India and Pakistan came into existence. So these were the circumstances when people of Kashmir as well as Pakistan, because Pakistan was under UNCIP resolutions given the authority to govern the Azad Kashmir, and because Pakistan was a signatory to that, so it halted the people of Azad Jammu and Kashmir to move forward, to capture the other parts, all those people, all those soldiers of Azad Kashmir who had fought for in the Second World War. So they were very much trained people. They could have done it, but it was because of the United Nations intervention, the war was stopped, and it could not move forward of that. So that became the first hurdle, the United Nations Security Council resolutions. People believed, and Pakistan believed, Kashmiri people believed that these resolutions will be held and the people will decide their political future. But unfortunately, India accepted these resolutions in United Nations, and thereafter, when they submitted their military occupation in Kashmir Valley, in the parts of Jammu and other places where they were already, and then they started calling Kashmir as their integral part. And also those people who used to who collaborated with India, those were also thrown out later on. And then India at one stage of time arranged the executive committee of National Conference. They decided that the accession of Maharaja with Kashmir is final. But again, United Nations Security Council came with a resolution that National Conference or any other organization has no right to decide on behalf of the people of Kashmir. Then again, India did another maneuvering, creating a constituent assembly in occupied Kashmir, and by that constituent assembly passed another resolution asking that the accession is final. But again, United Nations Security Council said that no assembly has the right to decide on behalf of the people of Kashmir. So the people of Kashmir at that time had a full faith that United Nations will come in and they will decide the vote will be decided. But the India knew that the vote will be against them. So soon after that, they said, now the ground realities have changed. There will be no plebiscite in Kashmir. Then we could see a 65 war between India and Pakistan. Because of Kashmir, this war erupted. And again, the international intervention stopped that war. And we had a Tashkent agreement on that war. And then a 75 war, we had another international intervention.
71.
Yeah. 71. Yeah, we had another war and another intervention. And because of that, we could see the Shimla Agreement. And after that, India started calling it international level that it is a bilateral agreement. It's not. Well, this is not true. The Shimla Agreement is binded. It is started with the terms of the Charter, because nothing can be done without the United Nations Charter. So these were the circumstances whereby the people of Azad Kashmir, they did continue their campaign for that liberation. But you can see that there were no means of communication at that time. There was no these television sets, there was no internet, there were no digital media, so we could know each other. We could know what we are doing and that part and what they are doing in this part. And similarly, there was no, even the newspapers could reach to the Islamabad from Delhi after 15 days and so forth. And many times Kashmiris started their struggle through peaceful means, but unfortunately those struggles were crushed by the Indian forces, by the Indian repression. And people of Kashmir had no access to the international world. So these were the reasons for that. But after 1989 onwards, there was armed rebellion against Indian occupation. And the younger generation of Kashmiris, when they thought after 87 elections that there is no room for ballot, their only recourse is now the bullet. So they were forced to take that recourse, although we did not want to take that, but we were forced to take that recourse. We took that recourse, and we could see the people of Azad Kashmir did support that at every level, at every where, and be that by big rallies, supporting those people and all that. So people of Azad Kashmir have been doing it. And when it comes to the government of Azad Kashmir, there are always question marks for that. Was government of Azad Kashmir able to do it? Because after the Karachi agreement, we could see most of the things, international negotiations and foreign and defense, these things were with the government of Pakistan. So government of Pakistan was doing everything what they could. They fought this 65 war, they fought the 1971 war,
Kargil war.
They did everything. Then Kargil skirmish, and we could see the Operation Bunyan Mahsus. All these things happened because of Kashmir. So we could see that government of Pakistan, armed forces of Pakistan, the people of Pakistan, they remained always at there. But the international scenario that changed. We could see that once we have a bloc, there was only USSR, which was in a way he remained either silent, abstain, or just once they vetoed and the resolution in United Nations Security Council. But then we could see after 65 onwards, the international orders changed. We could see that there was some closeness between India and United States, and the emergence of China later on put the United States again very close to India, and India became the strategic ally of the United States. And then we could see also the size of India, its trade, and then the market that attracted Europe and other places. So these were certain reasons where we could see that there was the international order which was with the people of Kashmir, which was on the side of Pakistan. It changed at that time. And that led us to this place that after 78 years, we still continue to resist Indian occupation. We still continue to knock the doors of United Nations. We still continue to write to all those big powers, remind them of their promises, their pledges they had made to the people of Kashmir. They had made these pledges in the United Nations Security Council. We remind the leaders of United States, United Kingdom, who drafted those resolutions for Kashmir. So that is all what is being done. And that is how we are, after 78 years, we are here. And now at this current time, I could see that after the recent happenings on May onwards, we could see a different scenario changing around the world. Again, Kashmir became a flashpoint. Everyone wrote, every newspaper, every these television centers and all media houses, they did say that it is because of the Kashmir, unresolved Kashmir issue, which has led to the current war, the warlike situation between India and Pakistan almost has gone to the nuclear war. So these things are there, and Kashmir is there. And I think the way the conflict resolutions, the conflict management tactics, which are being adopted currently by the international actors, I think Kashmir is on the radar now.
Kashmir is on the radar now, but since you talked about 10th May conflict between Pakistan and India, Operation Bunyad al-Marsus by Pakistan Army, and which is also known as Marika-e-Haq, despite Pakistan gave a befitting response and destroyed Indian security arrogance, India was behaving with extreme arrogance that it has one of the best security and defense system. But despite getting a befitting response for Pakistan, we are still watching, listening, threatening statements from Indian military and political leadership that we will get back Azad Kashmir, we do not recognize, we will attack, we will snatch. Why it is so? They haven't learned anything from 10th May befitting response from Pakistan. So there are continuously such threatening statements from Indian military and political leadership on Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Your views, how the people of Kashmir, of course, they are being protected by Pakistan and Pakistani security forces. So in the future, do you see any more threat that India may launch another attack on Azad Jammu and Kashmir?
To be honest, and if I don't think so. The things which the Indian leaders, the political leaders and military leaders are currently speaking out. At the same time, when we listen to the Indian security experts, past and present security experts, when you listen to the past generals, the ex-generals of Indian Army, the ex-security experts of Indians living away odd ones, we could see that they are time and again warning government of India against these things, what they are saying, and they are warning them that Azad Kashmir will prove a graveyard for the Indian Army if Indian Army ever try to do it. Because, not only the people of the army of Pakistan, but the people of Azad Kashmir are there. to make the things very worse for the Indian army. And this is not an easy trend for them. It's not Kashmir Valley where they marched and the Plan Valley, and it was not that much. So Indian security experts know this. They are warning again, time and again to the Indian government that this warmongering is not good. But why they are making it? It's for domestic consumption, because the way the Modi government was humiliated at international level. The Modi government is humiliated by its opposition in the country. The way the Modi government is humiliated by the international opinion makers when it comes to Operation Sindoor and Operation Bunyan Marsoos, and the way there is a hike in the I say that Pakistan's army's profile has gone 100% up, and now we could see that people around the globe, we could see the defense pact between Saudi Arabia and Pakistan. We could see other countries approaching to Pakistan. We could see the global capitals welcoming the military leadership of Pakistan. We could see the global leaders talking about it, and that has almost demoralized Indian leadership, its political and its military leadership. And they only to have the domestic audience to tell them that we are brave enough, we can do this, we can do that. I don't think they have the technical capacity to do that, and also they don't have any such, and in recent, how they could not have gained the technology in just 2-3 months. They could deter that technology, reached technology, almost did destroy the Indian air defense, and also the whole of the North India was almost in dark. So there was no water supply. They know these things have happened. Now the war is not being fought on the ground only. It is in the skies. It is through the cyber and all these things. So I think they know it. But to satisfy their domestic audience, the audience which is voting for them for last 10-15 years, only on these two issues that they call, they will take their Azad Kashmir, they will take Gilgit-Baltistan, they will take on Pakistan, and the Muslim bashing and Pakistan bashing favors them on the polling side, the electoral side. So that is all for that. But the military capabilities of India have been tested in May, and the world has now you have seen yesterday what President Trump was telling, that there will no war in South Asia anymore.
Exactly.
And
this is what
India
my next question is. I was going to seek your comment that President of United States of America, Mr. Trump, made a very significant remark recently that he has already warned India that there should be no more conflict. So how you see almost more than 35 times US president has spoken about India-Pakistan conflict. He has spoken about that he actually mediated between Pakistan and India. He brought ceasefire. So how does you see this latest statement by US President Trump that he has warned India not to attack Pakistan again?
You see, I think this is a very important one. It's a very warning signal for the Indians that already they on the trade and other things. President Trump has taken strict steps for them, and this thing from President Trump that I have warned India that they will not attack Pakistan. It signals a huge danger for India if India at any time miscalculates things and will do anything silly in that. I think then they will have to face the consequence of that, because from last 10-20 years, we could see the technologies which India has received or from the United States. and the many things which they have developed is because of the United States. So they will have to face the consequences of that. Then the Indian economy, which they talked about, we are growing, we are expanding, we are. Then we could see that the repercussions of that when there will be the sanctions from the President Trump. President Trump is a man. He when he says something, he commits
He
to
means
that. Till date,
exactly.
we have seen. Yeah.
So, Altaf Wani Saab, of course, US President also, when he mediated between Pakistan and India on 10th of May, he also at that time expressed the hope that both countries will sit together and they will talk on this Jammu and Kashmir. But since May, India has not admitted anything that there was ceasefire by the US. And do you think that America in the days to come or in the time to come at any stage can force India to sit with Pakistan and discuss this Jammu and Kashmir? India always says that it will discuss terrorism, but it always run away from discussing Jammu and Kashmir, which is the basic issue between Pakistan and India.
It has been Indian designs and Indian strategies since long that they never accepted that we will accept at any time international mediation on Kashmir. When they were asked to accept, they said it's a bilateral issue we will discuss with Pakistan. And later on, they said, no, we are not going to discuss with Pakistan. We will discuss terrorism with Pakistan, not the Kashmir. But the situation has now changed. I think now India, which portrayed itself the net security provider of the South Asia for some time and was put as a substitute for China in this subcontinent by the United States and the West, has failed to do anything. And India deceived them on multiple times on those fronts, because India, the trade of India with Russia, the Russian crude oil coming to India and India selling it to the other countries, this has been exposed at all to the Europeans as well as to the Americans. So I think what Indian leadership is trying, they tried to hide. Actually, they approached President Trump. Why is President Trump calling it again and again? Because he says that I did it. And why don't you accept it? Why don't you, at a certain point of time, say thank you, Mr. Trump, that you broke this deal of ceasefire between India and Pakistan, as Pakistan did. Pakistan said we were approached by them, and we said, okay, we are not going to. But Indians tried to, at same time, they still believe they are the big power in this region, so there should be no one asking them to anything. But now
yes, one is
things have
but
changed.
question arises in the situation that you have explained, and you have also made it clear that Pakistani security forces, in case of any adventurism against Pakistan, again, Pakistan can give a strong response. But despite that, do you fear any false flag operation by India? Because India is habitual of planning and creating false flag operation along with the line of control. Do you think they can create any false flag operation and will accuse Pakistan again?
Yeah, that's the point. That we will take on Pakistan, we will take on Azad Jammu and Kashmir. That I do not agree. But as far as false flag operation is concerned, we have seen
they can do
in the past 35 years how India got the international support on certain fronts was because of that. They created those false flag operations and then put that as a proof between to the international audience that this is the terrorist attack sponsored by Pakistan, so on and so forth. But this time they failed to convince the international world, because the world has changed. Now everything is seen by everywhere through satellite, that what is happening. So I think Indians will try to do that. Indians can do that. And this BJP government to rescue themselves from any of the humiliations which they are facing, they can do that. That is why we must remain very much vigilant for that.
So finally, I would like to just seek your very short comments. We are running out of time. How you see the role of United Nations in in two conflicts, because so far 77 years have passed. UN has been unable to address properly this Jammu and Kashmir and Palestine. So 24th October is the UN Day as well. So your thoughts?
So see, almost UN has lost the relevance in the current systems when we see as per Palestine or any other conflict. We could not see that any of the conflicts were negotiated by the UN. It was negotiated by the big powers. While their interests matched, they did intervene like that. While they could not match, they fought one another for their interests. But as far as the United Nations as a body is concerned, one credit I should give the United Nations, two credits I will give to the United Nations as a body. One thing, that United Nations still considers Kashmir as a disputed territory, despite India's all many despite India's all maneuvering, all time this they forced the UN observer mission to leave India, to leave the Srinagar, and they do not allow them to monitor line of control. But still, the United Nations made it clear that it is the Security Council mandated United Nations military observer group. India don't have any authority over that. It is the Security Council which can do it. So on this front, I will give credit to the United Nations. Despite all these things, the United Nations treats Kashmir as a disputed territory. That was also proved at different levels by the Secretary General of the United Nations in his statements that he is ready to do negotiations between India and Pakistan. And also in 2018 and 19, two reports which came through the High Commissioner
UN Human
of the
Rights
United
Council,
Nations
exactly.
Security Council, where he also mentioned that this right to celebration of people of Kashmir is intact. That means that this is the thing which United Nations has served to Kashmir on one count. The other count on which I will give credit to the body, because it has till date, I could see a third world war could not happen. It is because of this United Nations at one or the other way. They have the checks and balances, but they need to reform the United Nations Security Council, and this veto and other things need to be debated threadbare so that the decisions which are taken by the majority should be implemented. This veto and other things should be taken away from it, because this has because one country, where if a thing serves their strategic interests or their trade interests or any interest, they veto and make it, like we could see in Palestinian conflict. Hundreds of resolutions passed by the General Assembly, those were blocked, and then in Security Council, those were vetoed, and we could see what is happening in Palestine, and similarly.
Thank you so much indeed, Mr. Altaf Hussain Wani, Chairman of Kashmir Institute of International Relations, for speaking to Program Insight in V News English on October 24th, which is significant Foundation Day for Azad Jammu and Kashmir, as well as United Nations Day. Thank you so much. Despite your busy schedule, you participated in our program. And dear viewers, till our next program, goodbye and Khuda Hafiz.